welcome to another Bello's Designs video. This is Linda, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the best friends card. And I'm going to show you what supplies you need. So, by the way, this is an A2 card. So you're going to need a base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I like to have a mat, but sometimes you might not have the mat because maybe it'll make the front pop. So it's up to you. And this is cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than the base. And then you have your card front. And that is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. On today's card, since I'm not using a whole lot of water, I'm using very heavy stock. It's called Cover Stock by Neenah. And the supplies are listed below. You're going to need a stamp block. You're going to need a stamping platform, or unless you're really comfortable with a stamp block, you can just keep using that. You're going to need some paper towels. You're going to need, for stamping the silhouettes, you're going to need VersaFine Onyx Black, VersaFine Clair, this is in Warm Breeze, Distress Ink Scorched Timber for the edges, and also Walnut Stain for the edges. And you're going to need some gouache paint in primary yellow and also primary cyan. On these paints, these gouache paints, if you don't have gouache, you can use acrylic or watercolor. Those would be fine too. I've got a spray bottle full of water here. I've got some acrylic ink pens. I've got black, white, and yellow. I may not use some of these, but I do have them just in case. I also have a round brush and a fan brush, as well as a sponge applicator and a crafting dryer, craft dryer, so that I can dry it faster. And that is everything. So let's go. You're also going to need stamps. This one by Lavinia is called Leaf Bouquet, and it's 844. You're also going to need this one, Mushroom Lantern. We're going to use this small one, and that's Lavinia and LAV 596. This is Felicity. She's the star of the show, and that's LAV 222. And last but not least, her best friend, which is going to be this rabbit right here, and that's by Cardio and the Cottontail Capers collection. I love saying that. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're going to get started with the backdrop. You're going to need that water I told you about, and you're going to need both of your tubes of paint. Just open them up. Thing about gouache paints, really acrylic and watercolor, water is their medium of choice to keep them going. So I'm going to spray my brush so it's nice and wet. I'm going to apply the water at the top of my paper. I'm going to do some downward brush strokes a little bit. Okay. And once I've done that, I'm going to take out some of this blue. Spray it over here. Get it soppy. I'm going to drag my brush across the top, holding it up and down so it can drip. I'm going to bring it to the side and pull. Alright, now I'm going to use my stamping platform. This is the Mysti, and I've put in here my Sweet Petunia sticky mat. It's really nice because I don't have to use the magnet, which doesn't always work, but the sticky mat does. So I'm just going to place my card front down, like so. And the first thing we're going to do is the leafy bouquet. You're going to need your stamping block for this. I mean, you could use the platform if you want to, but since I'm not worried about how good the stamp comes out, I'm going to be using my block. So you can grab your VersaFine Warm Breeze. And I know I'm not going to use the whole stamp, so I'm going to see just how much I'm going to need. Okay, almost all the way to the top.
Okay, we're going to grab those acrylic paint pens. I have a white one right here as well as a yellow. And with the yellow, I'm going to fill in those dots with the paint. And then I'm going to grab the white one and I'm going to go over those same yellow dots with white now. Then with the distress inks, I'm going to go around the edges. I've started with the lightest brown. You can bring it in from the edges too in order to create some texture, make it look like there's ground, other plants, shadows. And then the darkest distress ink for the outer edges to give an almost burnt look and help to frame it. And yes, you can bring it in a little bit as well, like I did here, in order to accentuate your plants and shadows. And here we have the front all done and ready to go to be attached to your A2 card base. I'm going to be using sticky dots to attach it. You could use a mat if you want to. I'm choosing not to because it helps the front pop. Here I'm putting the sticky dots onto the back and lining it up using the bottom corners to make sure all margins are equal before pressing down. There you have it. There's the card. Now I've got my mechanical pencil so I can draw in some lines, create some texture and shadow, and with the brush and ink, I'm going to deepen that shadow a little bit more. And there it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Love and hugs to you. And remember to keep coming back to see all of the Bello's design tutorials there are to see. There's so many of us here. Bye-bye.
Now for today's tip. This is so cool. Double stamp scrubber. You open it up. You've got the scrubbing part over here. As you can see, it's well loved. And you've got the drying part over here. You just spritz water on this side. Then you take your stamp. You can put it on a block or whatever. So it's like this. And then you just scrub a dub. See how it's almost clean? Not quite. Almost. That's pretty good. And over here to the other side. It's just water. And there you go. Wanted to share that tip with you. I really love this thing. It's great.